Hello everyone and welcome to this pick a card reading video. In this video, we will be looking at what you should commit more time to or spend more time on. And for some of you, maybe you've already started working on this thing, maybe you haven't. Maybe some of you already have an idea in mind. Maybe some of you will be surprised, but here is stack 1A, stack 2B, stack 3C. You can pause if you'd like and if you need some more time to figure out which stack you are most drawn to. If you are not drawn to any of the stacks, that's completely fine. This just might not be the pick a card reading video for you, but I have plenty of other timeless pick a card reading videos located all throughout my YouTube channel. As a reminder, everything I talk about and discuss in this video is for entertainment purposes only and cannot be stated as fact. Alright, let's get into it. Hello 1A and welcome to your part of the pick a card reading video. The cards pulled for you are 10 of Wands in reverse, Youth of Swords in reverse, 3 of Swords upright, the Intuitive or the Moon upright. Oh yeah, and Youth of Swords, by the way, I'm pretty sure is the Page of Swords. And then we have the Hangman in reverse, and the Protector or the Empress in reverse. And then the Oracle cards here are Palm. It says Athletics, Victory/Triumph, Award/Rewarding. Reward yourself for your triumphs thus far and engage in athletics and team sports. And then we have Wolf, Guardian, you are safe and protected at all times. And take the next step now. And I will read those last 2 oracle cards in their guidebooks later as well. But really, the sense I'm getting is that you need to spend more time on and commit more time to your healing journey. It feels like there's been a lot of bad things that have happened in your past, or a lot of things that have traumatized you or have left a negative mark on you, in a way that's greatly impacting your life now. It could be that it impacts the way you view things, the way you think, the way you speak to other people or view other people. There's, a lot of ways that this could resonate. For some of you too, I think you're holding on to belongings from people who you don't need to anymore. This could be ex-partners or family members you no longer talk to, or even family members who are no longer with us and who have passed. For some of you, it could be an indication with that last one that you've been hanging on to something that isn't really adding value and it isn't necessary to your life, like some random heirloom. And some of you, your loved ones are like, you don't need to hang on to this. It's okay. That's going to be only for some of you though. But I do get a sense that part of what's holding you back in life right now is holding on. And that includes physical things, but also it's holding on to memories or holding on to moments, holding on to the past. And I can see that it's causing stagnancy and stuckness in the present moment. This stack gives me the energy. It reads as you giving up. I feel like you've just been through so much, or you've been through something really horrible recently that's left an impact on you, and it's like you just want to give up. For some of you, because it's 3 of Swords energy, that could be, again, losing a loved one or breaking off any sort of relationship, romantic or not. It feels that a lot of you with the Moon upright are still feeling the effects of that. And I think a lot of you do know that this thing that has happened, and by the way, I always say this, but if it does involve grief, like grief of a loved one, or even if somebody is still here, like cutting off the relationship, it's okay for you to grieve. And Spirit says always that it's okay to take time to grieve. But I feel like there's a lot of anger and resentment being held here. So in the instance of, let's say you did recently lose a loved one, or a loved one is in ill health, it seems like you're just very angry at the world. Like, why, world, does this have to be my life? Why can't things get better for me or this person that I love and care about? It just seems like with the Hangman reverse, a lot of you are like, I've given up. I don't care about anything anymore. It feels like the universe is out to get me or like isn't working in my favor. It feels like there's so much going on. And it feels like I keep having to tackle situation after situation, and there's like so much on my plate right now, you might be thinking. And I just think a lot of you feel very overwhelmed, and I think a lot of you feel very pressured as well. I think part of what this reading could, by the way, sorry if you hear my cat in the background, he's scratching, but I have echo reduction on, so hopefully you can't hear that as much, but I'm just gonna keep talking. For some of you too, I think that this reading could be that people in your life expect way too much of you. I think a lot of you do as well, but I think you get that probably from parental figures or any sort of environment you grew up in, where it's like you're thinking a lot. I think very subconsciously, a lot of this, it's consciously and subconsciously in the ways it's coming through, where it's like you don't want to disappoint people, you don't want to let people down, you don't want to fail. There's a big emphasis on a lot of you also failing, and like there's quite a few messages coming through. A lot of you don't want to fail. You feel like everything you've been doing lately is wrong, or maybe you've made a big mistake recently, and it just feels like for some of you too, this could be that you've lost a job recently or you've been fired. So a lot of you are trying to look for work, and it feels like you don't know what you want to do. There's a lot of questioning going on right now, a lot of not knowing what to do, but also a lot of just giving up. So a lot of the confusion lends to that, lends to the fact that um, of course, it's okay to be upset about situations, but you have to be able to try and live your life. You can't, if you give up, then what are you really living for? Is the way that it comes across, where spirit actually sees very, very great potential in you. And even the palm, it says athletics, victory, and awarding. So I think a lot of you are going to be able to get through this hard time, but what you need to do is commit more time to healing. And that means facing the situation. That means being unafraid to evaluate your thoughts and evaluate your emotions. And I think a lot of you have been hiding away your vulnerability right now or recently, and spirit wants you to be more vulnerable with people that you can trust. They want for you and take the next step now. I don't know what it says in the guidebook, but I think some of you too need to speak to a counselor, maybe a life coach, even a job coach, for example, if you can't figure out if you can't on your own find work. There's somebody I feel like who can help you right now outside of your family. I don't think it's really necessarily a good time to be around family though, and it's also not a good time to fall back on people. Like if you've cut off relationships with people, spirit is saying to stay strong and to not go back to these people. It's time to take the next step now, move on and move forward. Wolf says, Guardian, you are safe and protected at all times. And some of you I think are just afraid of, yeah, making mistakes. So spirit is saying, nothing, like, you are not going to die. Hopefully not. For most of you, that isn't the case. Like, I think a lot of you are so with the moon, it makes me think that you're just so anxious about making the wrong step, taking the wrong step, doing the wrong thing. And Spirit's like, any decision you make, have it come from both your heart and your mind. And if you're making the best decision you can in the moment, then you can't have any regrets. I think a lot of you have a lot of regrets as well right now about anything that's happened recently or anything that's currently happening. And spirit wants for you to, the hangman in reverse, let go of any regrets, let go of any what ifs, let go of anything that hasn't happened in the way you wanted it to. Spirit is saying you need to let all of that go because it's not conducive to you. And if you're focusing so much on the past, then how are you going to live in the present, and how are you going to eventually live in that future, right? The future will become the present and so on and so forth. So spirit wants for you to, with the, there's so much here. With the Empress in reverse, or the last card here, the Protector in reverse, a lot of you have been neglecting yourselves as well. Because there's really is just this I give up mentality. So spirit also wants you to not only focus on mental health and emotional health, but I feel like with that palm card, it also indicates that some of you need to, I'm hearing spending more time in nature could be helpful, like going on hikes. But there's something you should do energetically to, or physically, I mean, to boost your energy levels. And some of you, maybe you're like, I'm fine, my energy levels are fine. I'm talking about then if it's not physical energy, literally it's mental, emotional, and or spiritual. At least one of those areas, although I wouldn't be surprised if it's most or all of your areas of life are being very affected right now. And so I think you're also very blocked off from your emotions right now, so it's hard for you to even evaluate, like, I don't know, do I need to eat? Some of you maybe are missing hunger cues right now. It's like, do I need to eat? Do I need a shower? When's the last time I showered? I think a lot of you could be suffering from memory loss right now. It just feels very foggy, and it feels like, yeah, just like giving up. But Spirit is saying that they are watching over you even though times are not great now. They're not saying to be happy about what's going on, but they want you to know that you are strong and that you can get through this. Literally victory. But in order to get through this, you have to commit more time to looking inward. Journaling would be a really good idea, but yeah, I think for a lot of you, getting a therapist if you're able to would be a very, 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 very good idea. Um, oh, I just had some. Where did it go? There's an emphasis on the mistakes, like making mistakes that I was talking about, where spirit is telling you if you do make any mistakes or you have recently made any mistakes, that it's not the end of the world. I know the world card isn't here, but it's not the end of the world. You can't self-loathe and you can't self-hate so much. Because if you do expect so much of yourself, how which you shouldn't. I think that's it too. Like a lot of you have so much expectations. I think I already said that earlier, but so much pressure on yourself. So when you do something wrong or something isn't panning out quote unquote correctly, it's like it does feel like the end of the world for many of you. And you feel like there's nothing you can do to control the situation. Some of you also probably have control issues. But Spirit is saying you can't control everything, but you can control how you react. And even if you can't control your initial feelings or thoughts or actions, any of that toward a situation, you can control after the fact. And hopefully that will help you in those moments when you're in high stress situations so that you react accordingly instead of reacting in a way that's going to cause you shame or in a way that will make you embarrassed. There's a lot of embarrassment here too. There's just a lot of like hatred, sadness. Um and I bring up the statement like healing is a solo journey, grief is also a solo journey no matter how much other people relate to you in some way. But because the Empress is in reverse, Spirit is saying even though healing can be a solo journey, you need to focus on that. You need to focus on also the way you need to commit more time to giving yourself more positive or at least more neutral. For some of you, that resonates a lot more. More positive or more neutral affirmations or statements you can say to yourself. Or even just pointing out the obvious, like, okay, well, I'm still breathing right now. You know, I was able to make it to work on time. If not, I didn't get fired. Just basic level stuff, pointing out the obvious, but I think for a lot of you, it would help saying things out loud as well as writing things down in a journal, or doing both actually, like writing something down and then saying it out loud. Having notes all around your home would be very beneficial and important for you because I think you likely talk so negatively to yourself that having these around, these notes of encouragement, will be difficult at first. But I think it's better to start with yourself because I already don't think you accept very much words of encouragement or words of affirmation from other people. So at least start with yourself because you live with yourself every single day. I feel like a lot of you also probably either live alone or you live in an environment or your living situation is that of not maybe talking much to people, even if you see them a lot. Like I see you spending a lot of time in your room. I see a lot of you sheltering yourself. Spirit does not want for you to shelter yourself. They want for you to thrive. That doesn't mean I don't get a sense of like, sometimes with these similar kinds of messages, Spirit is saying, oh yeah, like socialize, do all that right now. That's not really what I'm getting. I get that this starts with you being alone and being comfortable with being alone, but I think some of you are too comfortable with being alone, so let me actually rephrase that. It's not about being comfortable being alone, but being comfortable being alone with your own thoughts, with your own feelings, which is why journaling, the words of affirmation or words of encouragement would be very helpful for you, and it will hopefully train your brain because it takes time to train your brain. And even if you're like, I don't believe these words that I've written down, over time you'll at least be neutral to them. You won't hate those words, and therefore you then won't hate yourself. Because it really makes me quite sad. There's a lot of darkness surrounding this spread, and it makes me very sad. Like, I want you all to know you don't have to cause self-inflicting wounds. Like, you don't have to banish yourself from society. You also don't have to do the most. Like right now, I see taking small steps will actually be victories would be very big victories. And then the more small steps you take, they'll turn into medium-sized steps to large steps to humongous steps. And I just see that being very beneficial for you all too, like taking things step by step. Don't do too much at once because then you'll be continue to be overwhelmed and you'll continue to self-loathe. You'll continue to not work on healing yourself. You'll listen to those negative words and thoughts in your head or from other people. I think too, a lot of you do have a lot of people right now, in your life now or recently who have just been very, very bad, draining people. I wouldn't be surprised if it feels like this is very inner circle people, so I wouldn't be surprised if you have a lot of people in your life or recently have that are family members or are just really close friends or even, people you see on a day-to-day basis or just the closest people to you. It feels like for some of you there could be some sort of betrayal here as well. But for some of you with that 10 of Wands in reverse too, I think, and the Protector or the Empress in reverse, there's a sense too that some of you take so much care of other people, so you're just neglecting yourself. And so I think you are feeling very sad about that in that case, or are very overwhelmed, but you're not willing to really talk to people about it. We have the Page of Swords in reverse. So I think you keep a lot of your thoughts and feelings inside of you, which is why I think writing it down and looking at those words on paper, other than just hearing them in your brain and then saying them out loud, that will make them more real to you. And then hopefully that will help you with understanding the severity of the impact of those words and how you view yourself, how you talk to yourself, how you view situations. I feel there's a lot of nihilism here. Even though I think some of you, this reading more so relates to the fact that you are very helpful to other people, but then that's not how helpful can you really be if you're not also helping yourself day to day. I think a lot of you have lost your joy. Maybe you don't have much of a spark. You don't have things that interest you or that make you happy, and it can be hard to connect with people or connect with just literally anything. So take the next step now. So my advice for you is, to take small steps. Even if something doesn't work at first, sometimes doing things more than once will help you. You have to remind yourself to not give up. One of the things I want for you to remind yourself to have written down is to just not give up. Have time throughout the day. Notice how you're feeling in your body. Notice the thoughts that you've thought throughout the day. And think about why you're thinking those things, why you're feeling those things, why you're feeling those emotions in certain areas of your body. Some of you too, though, that will be hard because I think feeling things actually, I think a lot of you probably feel very numb right now. So feeling could be very difficult, and just being in your body maybe doesn't feel safe. But the wolf here is saying you are safe and protected at all times. Nothing bad will happen to you. But my ultimate best advice for how you can work on committing more time to healing yourself and on releasing these wounds from the past would be to really see a therapist, because there's like so much here. I know that it's not affordable for everybody, especially if you live in the United States. So if you can't do that, find some sort of community and start small. So you could go on a Reddit community, and even if you don't post anything, just looking at other people's posts. Like for me, when I've been in dark places, looking up stuff on Reddit, I know people poo-poo on Reddit, but seriously, there's people and communities on there where you will feel seen, you'll feel heard, and you'll feel validated, even if you never make a post in that community or in that subreddit. So I think that would be very helpful for you, doing something like that. Think really small. Anybody that you trust, confiding in them about something maybe you've never opened up to them about because maybe you hold so much shame about this thing that's happened or a mistake that you've made. If you feel remorse for any mistake that you've made, and that's part of what's plaguing you right now, keeping you stuck and stagnant and feeling depressed or sad, Spirit is saying that having remorse is at least the first step. There's things you can do to try your best to remedy the situation. And if, like, for example, somebody still doesn't accept your apology, then you just have to take that for what it is. And you have to remind yourself that you always have the power moving forward to be the best version of yourself and to improve on yourself in whichever way best works for you. So Spirit really has those messages that want to be relayed, that commit more time to, also with Wolf here being about safety and protection, some of you really need to focus on committing more time to grounding yourself. I think a lot of you aren't very good at staying present in your bodies, and maybe you get overwhelmed by thoughts as well. So Spirit wants you to look up different grounding technique exercises and spend more time grounding and meditating. And meditating, people have different ways of meditating. For you, I just want you to sit there and notice the thoughts that come to your head, and then, like, don't question, just let them roll off, but really grounding. So imagining, for me, I imagine roots going up from the earth through the bottom of my feet, and it affects goes all throughout my body, like this energy that connects me to the earth. But I also connect to the universe, the skies, the heavens as well, whichever you would like to call it. And I imagine sometimes roots from the top of my head going up, but usually it's just, like this white energy going up. I have stuff for grounding on my channel, actually, if you want to check that out. If not, there's plenty of other good resources. And you don't even have to spend so much time. I know a lot of you get overwhelmed. You don't have to spend so much time at first. And I know it can be scary. Doing this with somebody who you trust around could be helpful as well. Doing this in a safe environment, or maybe you feel like you need to be around people to try and do certain things. Some of you, I think, are also struggling probably with social anxiety. Spirit is saying that there's help out there. And again, I really recommend Reddit or something similar, like an online forum, or talking to an in-person individual who you already trust and who you don't think will judge you. But I think a lot of you too, like in childhood, you probably didn't get cared for in the way you needed to, and so that's really impacting you now. And so there's just a lot that you need to unpack. So therapy, hopefully. But let's go into the guidebook. Let's go to wolf, and that is the last animal in this guidebook, by the way. It says, Wolf Guardian, you are safe and protected at all times. You are protected at all times. Trust that. The physical, emotional, and psychic barriers you've erected to protect yourself from past hurts and wounds are simply no longer needed. You've moved beyond your need for the illusion of safety that these habitual defenses have provided. It's time to trust that Spirit is always available to aid you in your protection when you really need it. Relaxing these barriers and knowing that they're accessible if you really need them leaves you open to love, both giving and receiving, especially to the ones you're closest to. Don't hold back, clutching to some obscure fear that others won't love you back. Be outrageous in expressing your affection for those you love, and know that your family ultimately extends beyond any lines drawn by heredity, race, or species. All of us beings on this planet are family, whether human, animal, or plant. That's the thing too. I think nurturing plants and taking care of animals could be helpful for you right now too, if you don't feel safe being around people very much right now. And the more you love, the more love finds you. Take good care. Additional associations, family, loyalty, friendship, and teacher. Yeah, there is really this sense that what you need to heal from your past does involve relationships. I got that right away because of the Three of Swords being here. And with Ten of Wands, usually that with responsibilities that can lend to family responsibilities, but there's also it says friendship here too. So I think a lot of you need to also work on committing more time to nurturing friendships. Again, starting like online if you need to at first, but I see you nurturing friendships and family member relationships if it is safe to do so. And I think a lot of you need to make new friends, find new people to like join a community, anything like that. And I think that will really help you feel less alone, but I think a lot of you need to take baby steps to get up to that point first. So let's go to take the next step now. That's one of the last ones, flipped right to it. If you feel stalled or stuck, this card is offering a solution. It's time to take action. Even a small step in the direction of your vision will help you feel a sense of progress and hope. You already know what the next step is, as your heart is leading you there. Imagine what you would do if you had unlimited time, finances, and energy. This is your answer. As you step into the world of the unlimited, your resources come to you exactly as you need them, provided that you listen to and follow your inner wisdom. Remember that you will never be asked to do anything that could harm you or a loved one, as your divine guidance is a conversation of love. Additional meanings. Take a leap of faith, break your goals down into baby steps. Yes, step by step. Focus on today instead of looking too far down the road. Or looking too far down the road, like, either direction from into the future or into the past. But I think a lot of you are very blocked from that kind of stuff, but take a leap of faith is really crucial for you all to hear, because Spirit wants you to know that you don't have to be trapped forever. You can expand, like you can break down your own barriers and barricades that you've placed for yourself, and that you can do these things one step at a time. And taking a leap of faith can be small as well. It can start small and really turn into something much bigger. I will leave it at that though. So thank you so much, 1A, for watching and listening to this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, you can like the video down below. You can comment down below if you resonate with this stack at all, and you can update your comment in the future if you have any updates to provide for us all. You can subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a lot. You can check out my other timeless pick a card reading videos, and you can check out my ASMR channel, Brittney's ASMR. That will be linked in the video description down below. Thank you so much again, 1A, and take care. Hello, 2B, and welcome to your part of the pick a card reading video. The cards here are Two of Cups in reverse, Guide of Pentacles or Queen of Pentacles in reverse, Nine of Cups in reverse, Four of Swords in reverse, Ace of Swords in reverse, and a Guide or Queen of Swords in reverse. So two Queen energies here, and all of the cards in reverse. I just realized that. Wow. And then we have Peach, Vitality, Spiritual Connections, Longevity, Heal, and Health, Sobriety from Toxins, Foods, or Alcohol, and Ask Spirit for Guidance and Help when needed. And then we have Dolphin, Playfulness, Take Time to Play, and Hobbies. And those last two oracle cards I will read from the guidebook later. But actually, I just got this now. I think some of you, what you need to commit more time to, I wonder if some of you do have food or alcohol addictions or bad habits or anything that's like a bad habit that's maybe similar to that, or it acts similar to that, you know what I'm saying? I think a lot of you maybe struggle with having a lot of crutches. Gambling could be involved in that too. So a lot of you maybe will need to seek the help of somebody else. I think so. Something else you need to commit more time to. The cards tell me is that you need to spend more time on asking for help. And also, if other people give you advice when you ask for it, don't shut it down. Or if people are trying to help you, don't just automatically shut it down. I think a lot of you are more likely to be stubborn and think that your way is the best way. I think a lot of you are very shut down from, advice or feedback or critique. So Spirit wants you to work on being more accepting of all that, especially if you ask for it, or especially if it's just something that will be helpful for you. I think you're somebody who though, like, no matter the circumstances, you probably are not very good at taking advice or saying sorry. That's something they want you to commit more time to as well, saying sorry. And also, I think that for any sort of relationships in your life, it seems like, well, first I gotta say, I think a lot of you need to commit more time to viewing life more positively, and you need to also commit more time to fostering your relationships, but also, what was I gonna say? You need to commit more time to, some of you I think have a bad temper or anger issue, so a lot of you need to commit more time to working through that. And I think a lot of you can be very reactionary people. And I think a lot of you take things very seriously, like you take things to the heart. And it seems like you're always on the defense. Four of Swords in reverse energy, you're always on the defense. So if somebody says something, it's like you're immediately on the attack. I think a lot of you need to work on committing more time to, how would I put this? You need to commit more time to focusing your energy on how you need to focus more time on how you impulsively react. There we go. So you need to commit more time to working through your reactions so that I think a lot of you react too quickly, and a lot of you aren't very logical when getting critiqued or when people are arguing with you. And I do feel like even if you don't agree with this, I feel like that's a lie. What I'm about to say. I think a lot of you, I already said this, but pick fights with people, or if people would just say something simple, it's like you find a reason to make it into an argument or into a fight or into a debate. I feel like no matter what, if people are like, oh, like, yeah, I love how blue the sky is today, you'll be like, it's not actually blue, right? And you just like go on this whole spiel. It's like, people don't want to be around that. I think you've probably, with that Two of Cups being in reverse, lost friendships because of your stubbornness and because of your inability to think rationally or logically. And I think a lot of you, this gives very jealous energy too. I think a lot of you, and I have cups in reverse too, I think a lot of you don't really truly, I'm sorry, I'm giving you a reality check right now. Again, if it doesn't resonate, it doesn't resonate, but a lot of you do not like the life you're living right now. And so a lot of you are definitely taking this out on other people. And I think a lot of you maybe have always had a tough life, right? But it feels like you then take that out on other people. I think a lot of you, it really truly is subconsciously, like, you don't even realize that you're the problem. You're the drama, but yes, a lot of you are. Um, Also, this could indicate that you purposely have people around you who you know you don't get along, wouldn't get along with. Like, you have friends around you or relationships with your any sort of relationship you could have with people, and it's like you know that you disagree with them. You know that you're not going to get along. But I think it's probably something that's been modeled to you in childhood where maybe you saw a lot of fighting, or maybe you just always want to feel like the best. So if you know, for competition wise too, something you need to work on is committing more time to being less stressed out about other people. In the sense that I think you view other people as competition and you need to release, again, it ties back into jealousy. You need to not be jealous. You need to not be um worried about what other people are doing and how it could potentially impact you and your potential. Does that make sense? It's like that person has a good job. Why can't I have a good job? Why can't I make as much as them, you know? And then it's like you tear them down or you talk bad about them behind their back. There's a lot of gossip going on here too. So a lot of you need to commit more time to talking more kindly about other people, not just to people, but about people. Because it feels like you talk about people behind their back. Some of you maybe you still have that same energy to people's face as well, but it doesn't read as very cute. It reads very much like you're insecure. There's a lot of insecurity here. And so a lot of you need to work on committing more time to your insecurities, focusing on where they come from. Like, oh, that person has that job. And it's like, where does the insecurity come from that I don't like that they have that job? It's like, oh, it's because I don't make as much as them. And then like keep asking the questions. It's like, okay, why am I jealous that I don't make as much as them? And you know, keep asking, what would be an answer there? Like, why are you jealous that you don't make as much as them? Oh, because like growing up, I lived in a family where money was everything, and my parents have made a lot of money, so now I have so much pressure to make them proud. And it's like, okay, why are you focusing so much on making them, proud? You just keep asking the questions, and you'll get to the root issues here, the root causes of your insecurities. And the same thing can be true for any anger issues that you may have, where it's like, where does this stem from? Why am I reacting this way? Does it relate to something in my life now or in the past, or is it just something that, um, something I feel like I've got to have to be a protector of other people? Um, that doesn't really resonate here though. It's more so protecting your own energy as opposed to other people's energy. I think something else you could commit more time to is also not throwing other people under the bus in situations as well, is actually more of the vibe I'm getting. I think you're willing to, I mean, again, talk bad about people or throw people under the bus if it makes you feel like you look good, even though it typically doesn't. And people just view it as like, why did this person say that? It was so unnecessary. So I think a lot of you need to commit more time to also filtering yourself. Not everybody wants to hear what you have to say, and I know that can be harsh, but if it's not positive and if it's you're always being negative, people don't want to be around somebody who's always going to be negative about life or who always is going to put other people down or gossip and talk about other people. There are people like that. I guess you could try to find them, but I don't see that being happy life for you. I think a lot of you are not happy right now, so you can commit more time to finding what makes you happy. We even have the dolphin playfulness here, so I think a lot of you, again, are just taking life too seriously and you take everything as an attack. Spirit wants you to let loose. We have hobbies here. I wonder if some of you, too, with this Queen of Pentacles in reverse, you could be overworking yourself, working so hard, and that could be what's causing it to be hard for you to have relationships. So something you can commit more time to is finding a better work-life balance, even if that means you don't make as much money. Like Spirit wants you to find a way to do that. Um, some of you too, I need to say need better sleep. I don't know why. I just thought I think that's important too. With the peach there, we have longevity, heal, and health. So but also, yeah, sobriety from toxins, food, or alcohol. It's not a good time to be on any substances or to drink because I think you need to have more clarity. I think a lot of you haven't been thinking clearly. So, in order to more clearly think through things and how you can, better yourself, it's good to try and not do that while under the influence of any kind. Also, I feel like a lot of you get a lot more angry or say things you forget or quote unquote forget when you're high or when you're drunk. Uh, some of you too, because I do get a lot of anger here, some of you could use food is a crutch as well, where maybe you overeat a lot, you could binge eat. Uh, I think if you change your diet around, you could maybe notice an improvement in your happy hormone levels. And with hobby there too, spirit wants you to just get out. It's almost like you're like, and sorry, this might come across as like very like, how dare you say that? But it comes across almost as very like, people on Reddit who always have something to say and are like, no, I'm right, you're wrong. It's very much that energy of like somebody sharing their story and somebody always finding a way to like nitpick or be like, this is where you're wrong. Um, Spirit is saying literally go touch grass. Spirit is quite literally saying go touch grass. And Spirit is saying that with vitality too, I think a lot of you are just taking your own energy away from yourself. A lot of you self-sabotage too. So Spirit wants you to commit more time to not self-sabotaging, figuring out ways in which I think a lot of you need to practice on self-love a lot more. Because when you do that, you'll realize that when you love yourself more, you'll hate other people less and show more love and compassion for other people. So Spirit doesn't want for you to take things so seriously. And I want to go back to the overworking yourself part because yeah, I think some of you are just so wanting a certain outcome to happen. You're working so hard or you have to work overtime, but Spirit wants you to try to find balance in the best way you can. And with Two of Cups in reverse, that shows that there's a neglecting of relationships. So a lot of you probably haven't been seeing people as much lately or you haven't been treating those relationships very kindly. So Spirit is saying if you want to focus on not severing all ties or on like renewing ties, you gotta work on that. That's something you need to commit more time to is how you talk to other people. And I think sometimes, you could use people in your closer circle as targets because you think they'll stay there and that they'll just take the heat, they'll take the bullets that you aim at them, but they're gonna start deflecting them if they haven't already. Again, I think a lot of you have probably lost quite a few friends here. And the Spirit wants you to work on fostering new relationships, but especially fostering and taking care of relationships that are already in your life. Treating people more kindly, but also spending more time with them, not only just working yourself to the bone. Because some of you, that's where this anger comes in, that's where the stress comes in, and that's where the self-loathing, self-hatred comes in because you're not giving yourself enough time to breathe or you're not giving yourself enough time to enjoy the moment because you're just so focused on work, 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 work. Work, 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 work. No, but and then that's shown here, especially from the Queen of Pentacles in reverse and the Four of Swords in reverse. I mean, pretty much all the cards, though. I think with the Nine of Cups, though, being in reverse, I really have to emphasize again how I think a lot of you are not very happy right now. And Spirit is saying that you won't achieve a dream life by being mean to other people or by neglecting yourself in terms of neglecting your relationships. Like if you're not spending enough time outside of work to do things, or if you're not spending enough time outside of school doing things. Spirit wants you to find ways. Find ways to do things that can help you. They don't want you to just focus and be in that mindset. Because then let's say that you do achieve something that you've been working really hard on, and then it doesn't happen. Then what are you going to do? You're going to be like, oh yeah, that whole time then, me doing all that stressing out almost feels for nothing. Like, yes, I have this achievement, but it feels empty. I think a lot of you will feel like that, where you already maybe feel like that now, where it feels like you're either empty or like really angry or really sad. So Spirit is saying you need to spend more time, especially with other people. Because I think a lot of you, I wonder if a lot of you have codependency issues or a lot of you, like just have very, maybe, you know what? It's giving very much anxious avoidant attachment style. If you don't know what that is, you can look it up. But it feels like you draw a lot of your energy from relationships, but you don't treat people the best. And that could even be a relationship with your work or your career or your goal that you have. It's like you have to put so much pressure on that. So then you get mad at your like goal that hasn't even happened yet. Like, why aren't you happening? It's like, okay, well, you have to look at yourself, like, what can you do? And if you're doing the most you can, the best you can, then you gotta relax. But Spirit is saying too, you can commit more time to enjoying the present moment, enjoying the journey, not just focusing on the future. I think a lot of you focus way too much on the future and you're not giving yourself enough of a break. So when you're not physically giving yourself rest, then you're not also giving yourself rest mentally, emotionally, or spiritually. So then how are you gonna be able to be a good communicator with other people? I get this. I mean, those last 2 cards, Ace of Swords in reverse, Queen of Swords in reverse, I think a lot of you 2 are not very good communicators, so if there's anything going on that's bothering you, you're not expressing that correctly to the people in your life who want to be there for you. And also with the hobbies card, it makes me think that you should do something that could, like, this is gonna sound kind of weird, but do something that lets your anger out. And one of those hobbies could be something that specifically, like something high energy would be really good. I was getting visuals of, those people who go to those like break rooms, as in where you go in and you break like cars and computers and all that, and you just can scream. Something Doing something and taking the time to play so it can be fun too, but also something that's going to release that anger. Doing something, going on a hike can do that for people, going on a run. Boxing, I really, for this group, I am not kidding you, boxing would be so beneficial. I really, really recommend boxing because that gets the anger out. It's good for your health, and also you can connect with other people because usually when you are doing boxing training, you can do it with other people. You can get advice from other people. And I'm not saying just, like, do it so that you can punch other people. Like, even if you're just training and you never do any sparring, you're just practicing with a trainer or around other people, but on the equipment, like the punching bag, doing that would be very helpful. It seems like that will help, bring any thoughts to the surface that also need to be brought out. Anything that makes you angry, like, in those moments, you can also think of things like, writing something down and then, or writing even a letter to somebody and then tearing it up, you know? Like, people talk about that, like, "Oh, yeah, if you have an estranged parent, like, what would you wanna say to them?" Writing it out and then ripping it up. Um, Seeing a therapist could be very helpful. I recommended that for step 1 as well. I see that being helpful to help unpack things, although I think y'all are too stubborn to probably go to a therapist or to open up much to a therapist, so that's why I'm saying, like, to yourself, this could be very helpful, opening up, uh, but then also spending time with people that you love or that you enjoy, or finding people if you don't have that. But I see that you doing hobbies with other people being very important right now. I see that, uh 'cause, yeah, the Two of Cups in reverse, I think that could be a good way if you're not very good at communicating right now and you're still working on, again, committing more time to, um, focusing on how you communicate with others and being less aggressive, less negative, less emotional, um, then I see, like, doing action activities or doing, like, even mini golf, right? Like, doing something where you don't even have to talk very much, going to the movie theater, that could be helpful. Like, there's those groups, if you go on meetup.com, not a sponsor, obviously. If you go on there, there's even usually places or communities, within cities or areas where people do, like, like, hangouts where they just watch movies. People also, for you, going on bike rides, like those community bike rides or community hikes could be very helpful too. Even if you just tell people, "Hey, I'm sorry, like, I have a lot on my mind and just wanna, like, go on this hike, but I would love to still walk with you." That's a way that you can I feel like crying with that. Like, doing something like that where you're still around people, but you don't always have to talk. Because I think you're not the best communicator. Some of you too, it could just be that you're not very emotional at all and you're just, like, not expressive of when things are bothering you. So it's the opposite of being combative, and then it would be like you're either really shy or just socially anxious. So doing something with other people, I see being very helpful and crucial for you in your healing right now and getting you to also open up and be more social in a healthy way. But having that be and just, yeah, being an overall better communicator, but starting from a place of, like, being around people, but not in doing activities where you have to do much talking. But I think probably opening up to a therapist would be very helpful for you all, so I do recommend doing that if you can. Um, for those of you who resonate more with not really maybe having many friends, Spirit is saying that not having friend connections or having a community that you can rely on or feel safe being around is going to only keep you isolated for longer, and it's not going to make you any happier. But it really does all stem down to, I think, a lot of times self-hatred or lack of confidence. So spirit wants you to commit more time to those things, having more confidence in yourself, viewing, like writing down what you find valuable in yourself, asking somebody who you trust, like what's one thing you find valuable in our friendship or in our relationship. And I just see that being very helpful. Also with hobbies too, with the lack of confidence, if you engage in your hobbies more, for some reason, especially if they, mm, or just any hobby. It could be creative in nature, it could be against something like boxing. I feel like, "Ooh, you know what? Like, baking goods for other people could be fun too," and you can have time to play and, like, mess around with that kinda stuff. Unless you do vegan, gluten-free stuff like I do, then it's hard to, like, not stick to the recipe or else yeah, it's just easier to mess up if you're not, like, specific. It's not like cooking. You could cook for people too, but yeah, something about the hobbies will be very helpful for you when opening up more or opening up more effectively, more healthily. I think I'll just read in the guidebook now though. So let's go to dolphin, playfulness, take time to play. You're thinking too much and doing too much so that you're disconnected from your feelings. The best way to integrate your intellect, emotions, and actions, believe it or not, is through play. Like, seriously, that I didn't even read this beforehand, but yeah, the disconnected from feelings. And even people who are like, if you're a loud person, you get angry easily. Like, that's still a way of you being disconnected from your feelings because those aren't your true feelings. You need to get to the root cause of those feelings, right? Anyway, those are impulsive feelings. You've been analyzing this and that and strategizing for the future at the cost of ignoring the present and a more basic need to let go and just have some fun. Get away from all that through play, and you'll find that your thinking is much clearer and more insightful. There are a couple of ways to play. One is a structured activity or game. This is a great avenue for socializing and playing with other people. Crazy. Another is, hold on now, spontaneous play. You can't plan to be spontaneous, but you can simply be spontaneous. All it takes is the right attitude. You can do this anywhere, even at work. Dance, sing, or make a joke, even at work too, like getting up and stretching or like going to get some coffee, going for a short little walk around the cubicles and being like, hi everybody, hi again, you know. It'll help you lose your mind for a while, or at least bring it into balance with your body and your feelings, and stop taking all of this so seriously. It's only like, what was I literally saying? I swear I did not even read this beforehand. Oh my god, I'm literally about to cry. That's literally what I was saying. Okay, additional associations. Communication, yes. Breath. Community, yes. Guidance. Goodness. Okay, let me go to the other one. Hobbies. How are you spending your free time, dear one? When you're going through life changes, hobbies can provide a stress outlet and meaningful foundation. Your card is guiding you to invest in these pursuits as a way to relax, learn, and enjoy yourself. You'll love to stay busy, yes, and these interests bring fun into your hectic life. Hobbies can be productive, as many people turn them into careers, but don't focus on that, by the way, is what I'm saying. But so imagine that you have unlimited time, energy, and money available for a hobby. What's the first one that comes to mind? That's your inner truth, and there's always a way to make it work on any budget and schedule. Joining a group related to your hobby is a wonderful way to make new friends, y'all, who can be there for you during the next part of your life. Any change, even a positive one, can be stressful, but with playful outlets like hobbies and good friends, playfulness, it can feel purposeful and joyful. Additional associations or additional meanings, self-employment, a career based on your passions, trying something new, and balancing work and play. But trying something new could be very helpful for you right now, but yeah, balancing work and play is the big kicker here. Balancing work and play. And also balancing fun with like taking things seriously. Don't take life so seriously, as me and the book said. I will leave it at that though. Thank you so much to B for watching and listening to this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like this video, you can like the video down below. You can comment down below if you resonate with this stack at all, and you can update your comment again in the future if you have any updates for us all to read. You can subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a lot. And you can check out the other timeless pick a card reading videos located all throughout my channel. You can check out my ASMR channel, Brittney's ASMR. That will be linked in the video description down below. Thank you so much again, 2B, and take care. Hello 3C, and welcome to your part of the pick a card reading video. The cards here are the Chariot upright, Ten of Swords upright, the Priest upright, the Magician upright, Eight of Wands in reverse, and Revelation or Tower upright. And then we have Grapevine, and it says blessings, expand slash prosper, life slash transformation. Visualize the transformation ahead and expand your strength of thought to prosper. We have Raven, magic, own your power. And we have gracefully aging. So, okay. Something you need to commit more time to is less time. Here's what I mean by that is I think a lot of you are putting like you're wanting things to happen so quickly. It's almost like with the Ten of Swords, I'm imagining you stabbing yourself in the back with this one. Like, we have the Magician. Ooh, you know what? You need to commit more time to. Okay, this is gonna sound weird. You need to commit more time to logic and reasoning in like everyday life. And also, you need to commit more time to more logical manifestations and more logical goals. I think a lot of you have things that you could easily, like, you have the Magician upright and Tower upright, which makes me think that you're trying to manifest something right now that isn't meant for you, especially if it involves romance. If you're trying to manifest a very specific person, if you're just trying to manifest a very specific person or outcome and it's not healthy for you or anybody else involved, Spirit is saying that that's bad juju, that's bad karma. And with the Eight of Wands in reverse, it indicates that you're pushing this. And even if you've been given signs, and you likely have been, because this feels like a very intuitive pile, it feels like you're just ignoring those intuitive signs, and you're just like, oh no, that's just further indication. Like, I'm on the right path. I still want this to happen, and even despite anything telling me otherwise, that shows how strong I am, and that shows how willing and committed I am. Therefore, it will happen, and it will work out in my favor. That's not how it works. Okay? Because Spirit is saying for something that you're trying to manifest, it is not, or something you're working hard toward, a goal, it is not. It's not going to be the outcome that you think it will be. And I see you with that Ten of Swords energy, betraying yourself. And I think with the cards that for some reason with the Eight of Wands in reverse and me also looking at the Priest upright, it makes me think that which the Priest is the Hierophant, by the way. It makes me think that you were very, not even just stubborn, but very in over your head is the way Spirit wants to say it. Like, um, I'm here. I don't know what this is from. Is this just from like a Vine or something, or is it from a movie? I don't know. It's probably from somewhere. People have said this before, but I'm thinking of a line of somebody being like, "This be crazy." B word, this be crazy. Spirit's like, come on, y'all. I mean, we have Raven magic here on your power, and we have the Magician. So Spirit is saying, you have the goods. You're very intuitive or witchy. Like, you're able to manifest. You're able to work hard. You're able to achieve many things. But it's just there's some things, or at least this one thing, that it's like you think that maybe because you've had luck in the past in this area, that means that you'll continue to have luck. And Spirit's like, don't be testing it and don't push it. Like, Spirit is like, you're pushing it. You're pushing against boundaries that should not be broken. They're there for a reason, and they should stay there. Spirit doesn't want you to keep pushing on this thing. They're like, we've been telling you, we've been sending you signals, and and I think a lot of you too maybe manifest out of fear, where it's like, or because something isn't happening quick enough, which I was getting when I first pulled the cards with the Chariot upright and the Eight of Wands in reverse. Some of you are just trying to manifest something right now that, if it's not meant to happen, maybe it is meant to happen. We do have graceful aging here, so that's the thing too. Some of you are manifesting something good that is meant for you, but you're just really trying to push it to come faster. And Spirit's like, do not push it. Everything is happening in divine timing. We have the Hierophant here too, and the Chariot. Like, that's by the way, the Hierophant is wait, oh god, I always get these mixed up. The Hierophant is Taurus, Chariot is Cancer, I believe. In tarot. And And both, by the way, Cancer is ruled by the moon, and Taurus is the moon is exalted in Taurus. So with those placements, it makes me think like this is something you care about so much. So spirit understands that you don't want to like give up on this thing. Some of you do need to give up on it though. Um, because we do have the tower here. And so if spirit is saying for actually quite a bit of you, this manifestation or this goal that you have in mind, if you keep manifesting or working toward this, it's not going to be favorable. So like that's why we've been sending you signs. It's not going to turn out in the way you want, or the other person isn't going to be happy, other people aren't going to be happy. It isn't going to be what you want. But then it's like, okay, if we let it happen because you were pushing so hard, then what? Are you gonna get mad at us then? Like, Spirit's like, are you gonna you're just gonna take it out on us and you're gonna be like, why didn't you tell me? And Spirit's like, we are telling you. We're telling you right we have been telling you that this thing is not or this person is not meant for you. And if it is, Spirit is saying it's not the right time. Because if it happens right now, if the person enters your life right now, or you enter a relationship with somebody right now, whatever it is, right? Then Spirit's like, it won't be good. It won't be fruitful. It won't make you happy right now like you think it will. So that's why Spirit's like, you have to commit more time to releasing anxiety around this thing you were trying to manifest. And for some of you, you need to commit more time to letting go, just in general, of this manifestation, or at least letting go of the pressure of it happening quicker. So yeah, letting go of it happening at a certain time, because Spirit is saying you also need to commit more time to trusting your own intuition well, because a lot of you are blocking it out, but also trusting, you need to commit more time to trusting spirit, because they're trying to send you signals and signs. I think a lot of you probably do get signs, even like with the Eight of Wands I'm seeing here with the birds. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you get bird feathers, or you just see a lot of birds, you have a lot of ties to birds in some way. The Chariot is talking about being determined, but also about doing things in divine timing, or doing things like steadily, not all at once, okay? It's about doing things over time. So part of what you can commit more time to is doing things in pieces, so bit by bit. I was talking about this in, what was it, stack 2 as well, I think, for something different. Not the same reading, obviously, but doing things one step at a time will be very helpful for you. That'll make you feel less anxious about the timing of when something will happen, or if it will even happen at all. You'll be like, okay, well, I'm just one step closer now. And so focusing on those goals, but without being anxiously attached to them, will help you on your way to whatever this goal or manifestation is. Okay. But Spirit wants you to commit more time to chilling out, on not burning yourself up, because with the Ten of Swords upright, that can also indicate the burnout. And the Chariot, it's saying, hey, slow down. If this ends up happening now or in the future, because of your mental state now, you're not even going to enjoy it. The grapevine, you're not going to enjoy this blessing. Literally, Spirit is saying, like, there's a lot of power. Well, own your power, Raven, yes. Oh, and that's the bird too, I forgot. Raven. Yeah, you could be connected to birds then. I wouldn't be surprised. Notice those as signs now too that I mentioned that. If you're looking for signs from Spirit, look for birds or try to hear birds, right? Or if a bird is showing up at your window and you're like, that never happens. Like, pay attention to birds. They are literally messengers from Spirit. Pay attention to them, especially from your guides. For some of you, you might feel it's more so from passed down loved ones, but for many of you, I get a sense that it's just going to be from your guides, your spirit guides. Like, hey, you're on the right path. I think a lot of you are on the right path. It's just you have to commit more time to changing your framework, changing the way that you think, and also commit more time to releasing the pressure, okay? And also commit more time to practicing gratitude, because there's a lot that I see here that's a lot of good that's already been happening. And Spirit's like, literally, you have blessings and more are on the way for you. We can't send more to you until you chill out. So you really commit more time to relaxing and not worrying about the outcome, not worrying about the timing. Spirit is like, things will come when they are meant to happen for you, and you'll be happy that, you've had to wait, or you'll be happy that you've been steered away from this goal or manifestation because we're protecting you. When I think of Raven, I also think of like, it's a very protective bird as well. So it's like, we are literally protecting you and saying, danger, danger, danger. this isn't the path. You're on the right path, but also there's part of this path where it's like there's a speed bump and you're going full force over that speed bump, and Spirit's like, don't do you don't do that. Or it's like, hey, this is the path you were originally on, but now we're gonna steer this way, but you're not steering this way like we want you to. Or or that's you steering off the path, and Spirit's like, hey, no, here's the path right here. Ka 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 ka. It's actually over here. You actually aren't necessarily on the path, right? It's like I'm visualizing a path to nowhere, like somebody on a motorcycle and it's going nowhere. That's what it feels like. Spirit's like, this will not actually lead to anywhere you want to be. You will be out in the desert with nothing. And you'll be like, now I'm gonna start back at square one. So Spirit's like, you don't have to start back at square one. You just need to reframe things. Maybe take a step back. For some of you, though, I guess it is starting at it's not even square one, though. It's just, some of you need to abandon this thing and you'll realize, oh, I'm actually still on the right path. It's just that was like a distraction. For some of you, you need to commit more time to eliminating distractions, because I feel like there are a lot. And I think for some of you too, commit more time to cleaning. I see a lot of like cluttered energy around you, a lot of chaos, and that reflects your mental state. And it also makes it harder to intuitively connect to Spirit or to come up with creative ideas or solutions. It prevents blessings. So it's like you're so cluttered. Spirit's like, if you remove some of that clutter, there's then more room and space for those blessings to come in. Do you get what I'm saying? That includes inside of your cars too. I know some of y'all who have cars, I'm seeing a bunch of stuff in there. Y'all need to clean it and remove stuff from there. Make sure you update your tabs too. Some of you are so distracted, you're not focusing on the logical everyday stuff or the things that are important for everyday. Like, you don't want to get fined or go to jail for like legal stuff. That sounds silly to say, but I'm like being serious. We have Tower card here, so it's not a time to mess around. The Tower card doesn't always have to be bad, though. I do see a lot of good coming your way, only if you, again, change things around or kind of change the manifestation. For some of you, I get the sense that if you need to change your manifestation or like drop it, that you'll still be able to manifest something similar, just maybe not specifically that. For example, if you are manifesting a romantic partner, if you're like, I am only going to manifest this one specific person, and that's what you're working so hard on, like this person, and you're doing like witchcraft and magic around that, I don't recommend doing that, because that's bad karma, that's bad juju, and people have free will, right? So doing something like that, instead, if you drop that manifestation, you're like, I manifest the person that's best for me. I manifest somebody who is nurturing, caring, and loving, somebody who matches my personality, has similar hobbies, or maybe you even want to manifest somebody who has a different personality from you, right? And you want even like certain qualities about them. But some of you, with your manifestations, you're too specific. Like, how people say, it depends on who you ask. Some people are like, the more specific the better. Some people are like, just be generic. Some people are like, manifest all the time. Some people are like, set and forget it. Although I think you should do what works best for you. I think you should, for this stack, if I had to say based off of what I'm feeling, just be middle of the road. You don't have to only manifest once and then set and forget it and like force yourself to never think about it, because for this stack, I think that's also very unrealistic. And then I also don't think you should be manifesting like all the time every day, but maybe once a day or maybe once every few days, right? Focusing on that, toning it down would actually allow for abundance to come to you more, because you're less anxious about the outcome and about it happening at all. So then Spirit's like, okay, you trust us. So again, commit more time to having trust and faith in Spirit that they are working alongside you, not against you. And so they want for these things to happen for you, but you have to allow for that to happen. So you have to focus on those things that I've already mentioned. There was something else I was gonna say. I think I should talk more about that Tower card. I think for a lot of you too, no matter what this outcome is, it will be something unexpected, but not in a bad way. If you are heeding the caution of Spirit and like changing course as necessary. Spirit's like, okay, let's say you are manifesting somebody, right? And you change your manifestation to somebody, and then you're like, I want them to have these specific traits. But let's say you meet somebody and they don't match all of your criteria. Then it's like, are you just gonna be like, well, no, because I have to stick to this because I'm waiting for this person to come? What if the person who entered your life is the best person for you, but you just have to improvise and you have to I don't even wanna say settle. I think a lot of you think of it as settling, and you think of it as a bad thing, and, like, for these kinds of situations that I'm talking about, whatever your manifestation or your goal is, it's like, you don't have to settle. Let's say, for some of you, it's like you want a job. You've applied to jobs, and let's say you wanna go to you have all these things listed for how you want your job to be, but then let's say you get, you apply somewhere, you get an interview, and you get the job. But then that place isn't nearby you, and that was one of your criteria, is that it was at most 20 minutes away from you. Let's say it's usually around 35 minutes there, 35 minutes back, right? It's like, is that something you're willing to do, or are you gonna be stubborn, like, "No, I need for every single thing to fit. I need for every single thing to match." It's very like a combination of Virgo and Scorpio energy here, by the way, where it's like some of you need to commit more time to compromising and, also being more neutral. Commit more time to being neutral. I think there's a lot of highs and a lot of lows, and you, like, settle into both of those, into any extreme. So spirit wants for you to find more neutrality and find peace within that. So commit more time to peace. I think a lot of you do like those extremes, or you just, like, are drawn to the extremes. Spirit wants you to take time to not have all those extremes. Those tower moments, it seems like quite a bit of those happen. Um, and I think things will be less jarring if you're more open-minded. Commit more time to being more open-minded and more fluid. Spirit is saying that the more you do that, the less jarring things will be. Your outcome, an offer you receive. So Spirit wants you to think about these things as well. And they want for you to I think some of you too are think you're gonna be so prepared about all these things. You're like, "I have everything planned out. I'm the magician. I've got this. I know exactly how it's gonna be." Even if everything turned out exactly how you want it to be, it won't be. Like, it just won't be everything you thought it would be because of how you feel. When you're in the moment, it's different, right? But I don't even think that's the case. I think it's mainly that there will be things that will be different. A lot of you will be very caught off guard by that if this manifestation happens or whatever. But I see this being good for you. So spirit wants you to open your eyes, open your mind, open your heart and soul, and realize that there's a lot of good. Just because it's not in the exact way you've planned it does not mean that it's bad. Even if it's completely opposite. For some of you, that's just what's meant to happen. And some of you are so just disconnected from your intuition. You need to commit more time to toning in, honing in, connecting to your intuition and connecting to your guides because they've been sending you messages. Connect with that bird energy. I really see that happening here, and yeah, commit more time to being logical. I think a lot of you think you're being logical, you're not. So, and remember for you with the neutrality, that means also committing more time to balance. So balancing out all areas of your life, I see being helpful. There's like very manic energy here, and so we need to tone that back a bit. We need to focus on I said this for stack 2 as well, like grounding yourself. Meditating will be very helpful. I think a lot of you need a lot of time alone to recharge as well. So commit to having more time alone, self-care, like by yourself. I see you putting on like a face mask. I think some of you really neglect self-care. A lot of you didn't probably get good sleep. A lot of you, I think, probably drink too much caffeine as well. Focus on good, healthy habits and doing that will help bring in more blessings. I'm just seeing that. You doing more positive things, having more positive habits, focusing on self-care will bring in these blessings, and you won't even have to worry about it. You'll be like, "I know that things are coming to me in divine timing," and I'm telling you, you're so connected to spirit. Like, it's very obvious here. So there's nothing there you should have to worry about, really, in terms of connecting to spirit. I see things going well. I just have to pay attention to what spirit's saying and not ignore it because I see spirit being kind of angry about that. They're like, "No, stop ignoring us. Stop ignoring yourself. And you know what's best for you. Don't act because if you think you know what's best for you, but it's out of anxiety, then it's not what's best for you. You're acting out of anxiety. You are thinking from a place of anxiety, and that's not healthy for you. And I just really have to keep bringing up this grapevine. Some of you too, that could indicate like being in the what is it, the Napa Valley or the Wine Valley of California. For some of you being in California, I see you spending time in nature out in rural areas too could be helpful. So commit more time to spending time outside as well. And focus on like your sensations in your body, on identifying like breathing in and breathing out and like the steps you take as you're walking. Commit more time to being more present, especially as you like are focusing on like what your body's doing, how you're breathing. Focusing on breathing exercises will be very helpful for you all as well to remain calm and not be all over the place. Okay, I'll leave it at that though. I'll go to the Raven in here and see what it says. Raven magic, own your power. Trying to keep yourself little by denying your power so you won't be a threat to anyone merely keeps you in a false bubble of safety. Of course, at least that way you won't get noticed much or stand out. Well, that trick has worn out its welcome. You're more powerful than you think you are, so it's time to stop pretending. Those psychic games you play, like finding convenient parking spaces or knowing when a certain someone is going to call, those are just parlor tricks, yet they're subtle testimonies to the gifts you have. There's no need to take on airs about your incredible talents. Let them serve you, but mainly let them be of service to others, whether human, animal, plant, or mineral. That's the thing too, some of you maybe are so focused on yourselves, but if you help other people, if you commit more time to helping other people in your life, providing help in any way, like mentally, emotionally, or actually physically, like if you're helping people move, stuff like that, charity work, I see that bringing about more blessings for you as well. Like seriously, bringing more abundance in. Use your abilities to demonstrate to others that there is this amazing power of spirit available that can move mountains. A force, of spirit available that can move mountains. A force that can be accessed with the proper mix of faith. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Intention and focus. So stop doubting, worrying, or making excuses. And own your capacity to be a powerful magician. Literally magician. Crazy. Use these gifts to help make this a better world for all beings. Additional associations. Shadow, insight, prophecy, shapeshifting. And also pages 99 and 100 in the book for the Raven. Very much about things coming full circle and numbers of completion. And like finalization. So a lot of you are approaching something big. You need to have that faith though, and the excuses come from just there is a lot of anxiety. So coming from a place of committing more time to working through your anxiety and not letting your anxiety control you will be very helpful in allowing things to come true, because a lot of you are also just so worried about will this happen or when? And Spirit's like, if you're less anxious, it's more likely to happen, or something else will happen that's better for you. Don't be anxious about the specifics. Okay, let's go to the other guidebook. My cat just came in here. Hi, honey. And also, I don't know if it'll resonate too much in here from what I'm thinking it will say, but I'll just read here first. Gracefully aging. You receive this card because heaven can see your inner and outer beauty and wants you to appreciate your divine magnificence too. This means that you allow yourself to see the beauty that growing older represents. The more you hold positive thoughts and feelings about the aging process, the more you glow with inner peace and sage wisdom. Your maturity signifies that you will be seen as an elder, and others will look to you for answers. This is an honor, which is one reason why this card is guiding you to age gracefully, meaning that you embrace your hard-won years of learning. Although you may feel much younger than your chronological years, graceful aging means that you are comfortable with yourself in every way. Additional meanings: caring for aging parents or other elders, learning from an elder, a change in beauty care routines, or preparing for retirement. When I think of as soon as I pulled the gracefully aging card, I actually thought about how it relates a lot to the Chariot and the Hierophant, where you need to let things cook. I'm just saying, like, let it cook. You need to let manifestations take time to manifest. Some people, things manifest really quickly. For you, I think there's lessons you need to learn before this manifestation takes place, or there's something you need to tweak, or you need to change it altogether, right? Before it can happen. There's a reason why you need to be patient and wait for this to happen, because Spirit is saying that, first of all, it will be worth it if you enjoy the journey more now, but also there's things that will be learned along the way on this journey, and you need to focus on the journey. Allow things to take time, and it will be worth it in the end if it is meant to be for you. It will be something that brings you peace. Think about that. Some of you need to commit more time to focusing on why you want your manifestation to happen and thinking about, does it bring me peace? Focus more time on and commit more time to self-reflection and being like, is this meant for me? Does it feel like it's meant for me? And if it is, why am I so worried about it? All these things. Spirit really wants you to think about all that right now. I will leave it at that. Thank you so much, 3C, for watching and listening to this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked this video, you can like the video down below. You can comment down below if you resonate with this stack in any way, and you can update your comment in the future if you have any updates for us all to read. You can subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a lot. You can check out my other timeless pick a card reading videos, and you can check out my ASMR channel, Brittney's ASMR. That will be linked in the video description down below. Thank you so much again, 3C, and take care.